So thank you. You might have seen that in the program it says 6 E's. I increased it by 1, made it 7 E's. And so for those who do not know Wipro, so let me start off by introducing Wipro. Wipro is a global system integration and consulting company. So we have our $8.1 billion revenue, active clients more than 1,000, 175,000 employees in 57 countries. And most of our revenues come from Americas, 58.7%, followed by Europe, 24.6%, APAC and emerging markets, 10.5%, and India and Middle East, 6.2%. So we work in different industry segments, and manufacturing is one of them. So we are talking about manufacturing today. So let's start with the 7 key facets of digital transformation for manufacturing industry. So we are talking with multiple clients, and we see the various dimensions in which digital transformation is happening. So I'll talk through each one of these. These are efficiency, experience, ecosystem, employment, eco-friendliness, economics, and engineering. So let me start with the first one, which is efficiency. So efficiency can be brought into the industrial ecosystem through IIoT and analytics. It can be brought in through supply chain orchestration. It can be brought in through cobots. So I'll give you some examples of each one of these things so that you understand where the efficiency is coming from. So let me first start with IIoT and analytics. So this entire conference, we've been talking about how we can instrument the machines to get the data. But once you get the data, then that gives you a visualization where, say, we're looking at a factory with 2,471 machines, and it tells you that you have to focus on the 16 machines which are either vulnerable or in critical condition. So now we can zoom in to the critical condition machines and zoom into a particular machine like CNC 2345 that tells you the gearbox is the problem. You can zoom in, find out what's happening on the gearbox, and you can find out what the problems are. So essentially what I'm saying is through industrial IoT, you'll be able to find out where exactly the problem is so that you can zoom into the problem, solve the problem, and thereby bring efficiency into the system. I'll give you another example of efficiency that's in the supply chain. So we believe that higher visibility in the supply chain can bring in higher efficiency in the system. So supply chain is no longer a linear supply chain. It's a complex network of stakeholders. So there's a procuring source, production, return, service, design, and plan. You have logistics providers. You have contract factories, distribution centers, service partners, service supply and partners, customers and consumers, and so on and so forth. And they interact in a very complex manner. And the problem there is the visibility in the supply chain is very low. So what I mean by visibility is there are multiple touch points in the supply chain, starting with the supplier, factories, distribution center, customers, and market. Only few of those points are visible. As a result, your efficiency in the system from the supplier to the entire supply chain is significantly low. But what is possible today is by identifying the high-impact dark spots, I can increase the visibility index to 75%. If I can increase the visibility index, that increases efficiency in the supply chain process. So I'll give you a simple example to show that how efficiency can be brought in the supply chain through the use of, say, sensors and IIoT. So this example, I'll give you a little context before I play a small video, which says that suppose you get an order from a customer for a certain number of your products. You know that all the products is not in the warehouse. Some are in the warehouse and some are in transit. Now, if you don't have visibility, there's inefficiency in the whole process of sending it out to the customer. But if there is visibility, you know exactly when the inbound supply chain inbound logistics is coming in. You know where exactly the warehouse the other products are. You put them in the outbound bay so that it goes out to the supply outbound logistics in a more systematic manner. So here is the video. So here first is we talk about Wipro Connected Supply Chain. So this is the solution which gives you visibility into the current state and which gives you the actionable insights to make the system much more efficient. So here is the video of Connected Supply Chain.
When it comes to global supply chains, visibility, agility, and responsiveness are key to client delight. Presenting the Wipro Connected Supply Chain Solution, an intelligent solution that complements existing enterprise solutions with real-time actionable insights that increase the effectiveness of global supply chains To gauge efficiency, let's see how two suppliers tackle delivery when a valued customer signals the need for 5 pallets of an item. At the Pure Ent camp, their enterprise solution informs John, their warehouse manager, that 3 pallets are housed at the warehouse. 3 more are in transit. But their solution does not throw up any actionable insights, and hence, John isn't able to pinpoint their ETA. So, Pure Ent was unable to commit delivery to their customer, resulting in lost business and a negative customer experience. But as Ent has complemented their enterprise solution with the Wipro Connected Supply Chain, apart from informing their warehouse manager Susan of the 3 pallets in the warehouse and the 4th in transit, Wipro's Connected Supply Chain solution also informs her that pallets in transit would be at the warehouse in 2 hours. This allows her to share an actionable dispatch plan with her team. Wipro Connected Supply Chain aids agility by guiding the right personnel to the right location, updating availability of material and progress of task. Help the QC process. Wipro Connected Supply Chain is a true plug-and-play module that delivers insights right from go-live buy. Having ready-to-deploy products talk seamlessly with solution components. Through real-time updates and anticipative precedent insights, Wipro Connected Supply Chain helps any enterprise dealing with material movement, increase customer satisfaction, reduce wastage, and achieve an ROI of 12 to 15% for the solution. And that's how we're empowering enterprise supply chains with agility that's creating delight from demand.
So that is an example of how you can bring efficiency into the process by synchronizing the inbound supply chain with the production process with the outbound supply chain. Now let's talk about experience. So when you talk about industry, you think about big machines, you think about reliability, you think about robustness, you think about 24/7 uptime. But normally you don't think about design. You don't design and experience are more with marketing and sales. But what we are seeing is experiences coming into the industrial processes as well. I'll give you a couple of examples of where we see experience coming in. Experience is coming in the design. We are designing the shop floor to make experience better for the plant technicians. We are using virtual assistant to help in the testing process, to help in the customer care. We are using extended reality to change the experience of people on the shop floor. So what I'll do is I'll give you some examples of how we're using virtual assistant to do things to change the experience of a tester or QA engineer on the shop floor. So here, this is a slide from the analyst, which shows that there are technologies like robotic process automation, artificial intelligence, conversational commerce, or chatbots, and blockchain. They're all going up. Their CAGR is more than 30% from 2018 to 2024. So these technologies can be packaged into creating experience. And that is what I'll show you, how we package these technologies to create experience through the virtual assistant. So here is an example. So let me give you some context of what I'm showing here. This is a quality engineer. He's actually checking the quality of the gear. When a product is coming out, he's doing the quality check. One of the gears has a problem, and during the process of testing, he realizes that it has more vibration. So he basically calls up the virtual assistant and say, why is the vibration signal different for gear number 2? And the virtual assistant is able to respond, saying that there's a gear number 2 in the gearbox is having a missing tooth. So now the problem is, what is the magic? How does the virtual assistant give you the right answer that you're looking for? The way it gives the right answer is we have created an intelligent store based on various sources of information. The information comes from the quality data from the line, field data, engineering data. All of those things are ingested into creating an intelligent store. Not only that, as you're doing the analytics, prototyping, testing, the equipment health data also feeds in there. So I was talking to one of the colleagues, so they have huge amount of testing data, but that's lying unused. But in this case, we can ingest all the data, create the intelligent data store, so that when the quality engineer has a question, the virtual assistant can dip into the intelligence store, get back with the right answer. So this is where the advantage is. Your testing cycle is shortened. This is a good example of an experience. We're using the same virtual agent concept in customer care, and that is also very popular with the manufacturing clients. And these kind of questions are like they buy your product, and they have questions like, what is the maximum current? What is the torque? And these are questions which can be answered only by subject matter expert. What we are seeing, that we can use a virtual assistant to answer this question 30 to 40% of the time. So thereby, we can increase the experience and reduce the cost. So this virtual agent can converse intelligently. Converse, that is, you can speak in unstructured language. And 14 languages, French, German, English, Japanese, and all the common languages, you can converse with a virtual assistant. And it's not just, you can call it by phone, it can be a mobile app, you could email, you could WhatsApp, doesn't matter. You could go to the virtual assistant in any of these channels. Intelligently means it understands what you're saying. And based on understanding the concept, it'll actually dip into the insight engine. The insight engine is created from historical records, voice call recordings, FAQs, best practices, machine data, technical manuals. We take all these heterogeneous sources of data, combine them using AI, create the multi-dimensional knowledge tree, which you can traverse with your intent, find the answer, and go back. And 30 to 40% of the time, the virtual agent is able to solve your queries. If it cannot solve, it passes it back to a live agent who will try to help you. And if the live agent cannot do it, then he will raise a ticket, creating a case, and closes the scenario. So this is an example of an experience through this combination of technologies. So what I would like to do is I'll give you a little demo video of Tina. She has a HomeNet appliance dishwasher in her home. And there's a problem that she didn't know there's a problem, but the system told her there's a problem and how the system helped her solve the problem. So this is where you watch the video to see how iSolve can help her solve the problem.
Tina, we noticed a problem with your dishwasher.
iSolve, what's the problem with the dishwasher?
We noticed that your dishwasher is leaking. Do you have time right now to try to fix the problem together?
Yes, sure.
Please follow this step-by-step guidance, which should be able to fix this leak.
It's usually only a couple things that it can be. The first thing you want to check is the hinges to make sure they're not loose. And if they're loose, you just tighten them and then run the machine again.
I still see a leak. I think I need an expert to help fix this. I can't do it myself. Can I get a technician, please?
I have found 2 technicians available. One is available tomorrow at 6 p.m., and their service charge is $100. Another one is available next Monday at 5 p.m. Their service charge is $50.
Please go ahead and confirm the technician for tomorrow.
Confirming the appointment tomorrow. Michael is the technician. Also, if the drain pan needs a replacement, which is not likely, it will be an additional $50 for the parts and shipping.
Okay, thanks.
I also found an extended service plan for your model. It would cost you only $100 per year and will include fixing the current water leak problem. Would you like this plan?
That plan sounds good. How do I sign up?
Please look for an email with contract details.
Yes.
Please make sure you sign the contract in the next 7 days so the current repair ticket will be covered in the plan.
Okay, great. Thanks.
So see, this is how the experience is changing. And what is interesting is you saw there's a subtle upsell that sold the insurance together with fixing the thing. So that's how you can create new business model, new business opportunities. And so when it comes to experience, we're also looking at changing experience for the plant technician. So this is an example of how the experience will look like for a plant technician. Goes to a plant, and you can see number of things superimposed on the machine so that it's not just looking at the bare machines, but also knows what's going on inside the plant. And I'll not dwell on it. You have seen enough of some augmented reality. But again, just wanted to mention that Wipro leverages the power of Topcoder. Topcoder is the world's largest crowdsourcing platform. There are more than 1 million developers, designers, analysts, and designers that we use to create designs like this for our customers. The best part is our peers will give you one design for a particular case, we'll give you 5, because we can afford to do that because of the power of Topcoder. You can choose which ones of the 5 that you like. So that's the power of Topcoder that Wipro uses for coming up with designs and analysis. So now I think I'm going a little slow. Let me just talk about ecosystem. So ecosystem is very important. What we see with many of our clients, like OEMs particularly, they have created an IIoT platform, but they realize that they have to monetize it. To monetize the platform, they've started creating an app store on top of that. So they create their own applications. They also want third parties to develop applications on top, and they start monetizing applications. So this is where the ecosystem comes into play. And ecosystem requires a platform, it requires collaboration, and it enables data monetization. I give you a couple of examples to show this. And the platform is something where the various stakeholders can connect, interact, and exchange your goods, services, and data in a trusted manner. If you have a platform where everybody's data is there, you want security. You don't want your data to be visible to everybody. You want some data to be visible to suppliers, some data to be visible to customers, some data to be visible to partners, but you want to have the control. So you want a platform. Here I give an example of automotive ecosystem where you have OEMs, dealers, and governments, after sales, and component suppliers, all of them on the same platform sharing data, but you want to be very careful as to who gets what. So that is where the data monetization aspect comes in. And for the platform ecosystem, you need to enable trust and collaboration. You want modeling of complex assets. Modeling of complex assets is necessary because if you have a complex machine, let's say a car, you have engine, you have transmission, you have drive. Engine has multiple components. Transmission has multiple components. There are multiple OEMs providing all those components. So you want to have a complex relationship between all those entities, and that's why you need a graph database to keep track of all of those. So you need complex asset modeling. You need to scale it. You need to have a consolidated view of the real-time view of all the assets in the ecosystem. So here I give an example to show that how monetization is possible. So this is where there is an OEM. An OEM sells different assets to different dealers. And even if it sells the same assets, it provides different applications access to different dealers. So dealer number 1 can access modeling applications and asset overview application. Dealer number 2 can access only the modeling application. So as an OEM, you control who gets to see what, which application is visible to whom. And not only within the application, but there are microservices within the applications you can control at that level as well. And the second example I give is, again, you can also control who gets to see what sensor data. That's very important. Here, I have an OEM. He sells equipment to dealer 1, and customer 1 rents the equipment from dealer 1. OEM wants the dealer 1 to get access to the technical data, to the battery voltage, engine running bands, and all that, because the dealer wants to fix the problem. That information is not necessary for end user John. John does not need to know the engine running bands. But John needs to know where the equipment is. So John needs the location attributes. The dealer may not need that. So here I'm saying that through this mechanism, you can decide who gets to see what data. That secure sharing of data, governance of data, leads to data monetization. So let me talk a little bit about employment. We heard a lot in this forum about workers, and we believe that there is a difference in the skills in the millennials and the experienced people. The experienced people may not be necessarily aware of the digital technologies. The younger people are more into digital technologies, but they are scared of industrial equipment because it requires a lot of knowledge to understand how the machine functions. Yesterday, I was in a United Rentals presentation where a gentleman said it took him 9 years to understand how the whole system works. Today's youngsters, they cannot wait for 9 years. They want it 9 weeks. So we want to shrink the time for them to pick things up. Learn things should be done much more quicker. How can we do that? So this is where employment is, how we change the employee experience on the job. So this is what we believe, that millennials are attracted to technology. I give an example, like millennials were not coming to the auto industry. The moment you start a Tesla, all the young people coming out of Stanford, Harvard started going to Tesla. Still automotive, but it's technology flavored. So we believe that if we can bring the technology flavor into industrial, that will help them to overcome the perceived complexity of the thing, and at the same time, the time to learn things up, become proactive as jobs, will be significantly shrunk. And that is how, you can get the millennials, and if work were like playing video games, most of the times you see people wearing all the glasses, playing around, doing all kinds of stuff. But that's for fun. But imagine they could do the same thing at work, and at the same time, work would get done. So it's a different way of engaging youngsters, and thereby bring millennials back to the manufacturing. Wipro has a platform called Imagine Platform. What it does is it converts the machines like humans. When you want to talk to machines, you're daunted. I don't know how to talk to the machine. But imagine the machine started behaving like a human. It could sense like human. You could talk to the machine. It comprehends like humans. And it reacts, it responds like humans. So this is what the platform does. It enables the machines to listen to you, understand you, and respond to you. And that's the platform we're using to sort of make our experience better and get the millennials back into manufacturing process. I'll talk about eco-friendliness. So when it comes to industrial manufacturing, most of the times you think, well, these companies are generating waste. These companies are using too much of energy. They have too much paperwork. And that's not friendly to the environment. Now, we're saying that that can be overcome by using technology. So here it is. So first thing I'll talk about is digitization. We are working with some of the industrial manufacturing companies. They have millions of drawings and technical specs, millions, literally. Now, those things are lying there. And what they started doing in manually converting them into digital documents. And that is human error prone, and that takes a long time to convert millions of documents into digital documents. Now, with Wipro's, Wipro Homes, which is a cognitive assistant platform, you can feed it into a PDF document, you can convert that, you can extract specifications, attributes can be extracted, maintenance plan validation can be done, tags can be extracted, and you could verify as built and as designed systems. So this is where taking physical paper documents, converting that into intelligent documents, and the benefits are you can do the conversion 4 times speed at 1/4 the cost. So this is what we're doing with some of the clients to digitize them. And this is the type of thing that you could see, that this is all the documents, all the technical documents, convert that using to digital documents. You can find out redundant dimensions, double dimensions, missing dimensions, and so on and so forth, which you had no idea about. So this is the benefits of digitization, and that is possible today. Minimizing waste or energy. To minimize energy waste, first of all, you have to understand how much energy is being consumed. IoT plays in there. Then you have to analyze to find out where you are losing energy and how much. Then you use AI to optimize energy usage. And then you need industrial automation to effect that change. So here, Wipro has a platform called EcoEnergy. What EcoEnergy does is, these are all the plants. This is plant 1 up to plant N. And every plant will not only have the devices like sensors and controllers and SCADA, but they'll also have the operational things, the lighting, heating, cooling, plant machinery, compressed air, processes, and so on and so forth, which are needed to run the factory. So what EcoEnergy does is collects all this data and creates a holistic dashboard for you to see how much energy is being consumed. And it also gives you an actionable insight saying that where you could actually save on energy wastage. So this is how you can make the company much more environmental friendly in terms of not wasting energy that you'd do otherwise. So far, all the things I talked about is about saving cost. So this is the time when I talk about how digitization can be used to create new sources of revenue. So this is what we call economics. In economics, so what we talk about is servitization. Many of the OEMs are selling their product as service. And this is a trend in the industry, and digitization enables you to do that. What I mean by selling a product as service is, the Rolls-Royce does not sell its engine. It sells the flying time. It does not, today, imagine if you're a company which makes dishwasher, you are not selling the dishwasher, but selling washing as a service. You are not selling water heater, but selling hot water as a service. So that's an example of product as a service. And here in Wipro, we have been working with one of the largest construction equipment manufacturers to enable them to sell their equipment as a service. So we have been monitoring more than 120,000 of their machines across India and Southeast Asia. 85 million data points are processed per day. About 10,000 service opportunities are generated. So these are opportunities for the OEM to monetize their services. They're adding about 2,000 new machines every month. We are performing firmware upgrade over the air for 4,000 machines. So we can do the maintenance and things like that by using firmware upgrade over the air. And so this is how we have been providing servitization capability to our OEMs customers. Last but not the least is engineering. And engineering is very fundamental, and it's also changing over time. And here, I just wanted to mention that there are various things happening in engineering, like digital twin, PLM, you need interoperable, CAD, CAM facilities, you need digital thread, so you can track back from the maintenance to the operations to the, all the way to the design, so it's like a digital thread. I'll just speak a little bit about digital twin. So in Wipro, we are developing a platform called Wipro Smart Twin. And what Smart Twin does, it's a platform where you could create a digital twin of an asset, digital twin of a process, digital twin of interaction between assets and processes and the environment, so that it can help you in design, monitoring, and control of the equipment. So this is an example of what we have done with the gas turbine. We created a digital twin, monitored various IoT parameters like velocity, presence, proximity, temperature, humidity, chemical, gas, and all of those things are monitored in real time. Combine that with the ERP data, create a dashboard of predictive maintenance, and then kick off the MRO, which is maintenance, repair, and operations based off that. So this is an example of how digital twin is being used. And so this is a part of our industrial engineering services, called IES. And I'd like to take a look at what we offer as engineering service.
Without looking to the future. You can't make progress without leaving the past behind. You can't invent tomorrow's world without the foresight to look past yesterday's. For the last 4 decades, Wipro's Industrial and Engineering Services has been helping customers realize their vision of the future. We've done it by providing them with multipliers that accelerate innovation and time to market. Supported by the possibilities provided by a vast and varied ecosystem, and delivered at a scale that keeps pace with the enormity of mankind's ambitions. For instance, we connected over 50,000 machines, enabling an additional services revenue of $10 million for a leading heavy equipment manufacturer. Our mass-customized 3D printed parts reduced the weight of food trays by 33% for a leading aerospace supplier. Wi-Fi, our reference autonomous vehicle platform, combines core engineering ideas across hardware, software, AI, machine learning, sensor fusion, and computer vision. In a world where engineering is pervasive to everything, we deliver the future with a team of passionate people, a diverse ecosystem, and strong engineering DNA. Creating newer experiences, accelerating outcomes, and creating exponential growth. We do it across the world, backing big bets that are moving the needle to the next level. Engineering the next revolution, the next wave, the next big thing. Wipro Industrial and Engineering Services. Engineering next. Enabling innovation at scale.
So that's our engineering services for Wipro. So I covered these 7 E's, which are making digital transformation for manufacturing companies. And for each one of the building blocks, we said, what is Wipro offering? And these are a subset of things that we offer, so we can work. We are looking forward to working with you, helping you transform, and in your digital transformation journey, work with you to make that happen. And thank you for your time. I think I'm just out of time. But thanks for listening, and happy to take questions.
Thank you, Sanjoy. Thank you very much. Sanjoy, I'm going to encourage everybody, if they have questions, to come see you one-on-one, because
Sure.
we're heading into our roundtables. I'm sure they'll
Sure.
have some
Thank you.
questions in there. Everybody, it's time for your third